So good afternoon, everybody. What I'm going to talk here is going to be very informal. Please feel free to stop me, ask me questions anytime you want. Any question you want, do not hesitate. Don't feel that, hey, it's a dumb question or a stupid question. There's no dumb or stupid question. And you're not going to offend me by questioning any way you want. You had a question? No. Okay. So having said this, I'm going to read this before I start the presentation. Warning, please do not be offended. My goal is to educate you and change your attitude towards food. How you accept and use this information is entirely up to you. God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them. Genesis. Do you not know that you are God's temple and that God's Spirit dwells in you? If anyone destroys God's temple, God will destroy him. For God's temple is holy and you are that temple. Corinthian. Now, every time you eat garbage in the form of sugar, starch, saturated fat, salt, and caffeine. Let me say that again. Every time you eat garbage in the form of sugar, starch, saturated fat, salt, and caffeine, you are destroying the temple of God. In the end, God will destroy you, just as he said, by giving you obesity, diabetes, heart disease, strokes, and medical bills and bankruptcy. So next time you desire to put garbage in your mouth, say this prayer first. Dear Lord, thank you for this scrumptious meal that I am about to eat, being fully aware with a sound mind that I am going to damage my brain, heart, kidneys, nerves, stomach, hurt my sleep, and personality for which you have graciously given. I take full responsibility, so do not, please do not help me, God. Amen. Okay. Now, please don't take offense to it, but this is what I've learned. I've been in practice for almost 14 years. I did a year of research at Stanford in California, did my residency at Baylor Internal Medicine, did my cardiology at Texas Heart St. Luke's. And having trained in cardiology, my whole idea was how to treat disease by doing angioplasties and stent placements. Having done this, I got into practice and I realized that most of the diseases are caused by food. So it took me, what I'm going to talk about now, took me 14 years to understand that these are the 5 ingredients: salt, sugar, starch, bad fat, caffeine. These are the ones which cause disease. Can I have some water before I start? Okay. So, what is the definition of happiness? Anybody? Eating good food, but that's why it's called gluttony is a sin. So what's the definition of happiness? Good health, good. As Benjamin Franklin said, healthy, wealthy, and wise. That means good health is number 1. Enough wealth for retirement and wisdom to take care of your health and wealth. So the point is simple. So I'm not going to talk about wealth or wisdom. I'm going to talk about health. How do I have good health and how long it's going to take me to get good health? Anybody?
All your life. That's a lifetime.
Well, you just saw Brenda. How long did it take? 2 weeks. That's the point. So it may take you a lifetime to destroy your engine, but you can start repairing it in less than 2 weeks. Now, ask Brenda, how many medications did I prescribe her? None. How many vitamins did I ask her to take? How many antioxidants did I ask her to eat? Or how many fruits did I ask her to take? Nutrients, minerals, vitamins. Did I ask any of those? No. What did I ask her to do? Eat right. Did I ask her to starve? No. Did I ask her to cut down portion sizes? No. Did I ask her to look at calories? No. Did I ask her to worry about cholesterol in her diet? Then what did she do? Ate right. So ate what? That means whatever she ate, the question she asked was, does this food have salt, sugar, starch, bad fat, caffeine? That was the first question she asked. The second question she asked was, did I drink 2 glasses of water before eating? That's all. The third question she did was, after I finished my lunch or dinner, did I plan my next meal? Why? Let's say you have lunch now. Before the end of the lunch, you take 1 minute to decide what you're going to eat for dinner. How long does it take you? Less than a minute. Let's say you want to have a piece of steak and a lot of vegetables and water. Let's say that. Let's say for argument's sake. That's it. You go home and eat that. By the time you're done with your dinner, plan your next meal. Breakfast. I'm going to have 3 eggs with yolk and some nuts and some avocado. Done. Now, if you plan one meal at a time, what happens for the next 40 years? And what is the fourth thing she did? Do not eat anything between dinner and breakfast for at least 13 hours. Why? The best thing is to let the body heal. And the way the body heals is when your stomach is not working to digest food. So the first question she did was, ask what? Does this food have salt, sugar, starch, bad fat, caffeine? Second question, did I drink 2 glasses of water? Third question, did I plan my next meal and stick to the planned meal? Fourth question, did I give 13 hours break between dinner and breakfast? Now, if you do this, what happens? Would you have obesity, diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, high cholesterol, dementia, arthritis, gastritis, mucus production? Every time you get up and walk, you're coughing and choking and wheezing. All these things change. So your job is not to mess your body up. Just give it time to heal and it will heal. And how long does it take? Less than 2 weeks. I'll give an example. 68-year-old Caucasian lady came to my office because she saw me on the show. 1963, the year I was born, she had a motor vehicle accident. She developed a tremor. Subsequently, 48 years, she could not write her name or sign her name on a check because she had this tremor. She would go to church, she would sit on the hand because she would have the tremor, and she was embarrassed about it. 15 years ago, she developed breast cancer, went for chemotherapy, and subsequently developed neuropathy. What is neuropathy? Damage to nerves because of chemotherapy. And she was in constant pain, burning sensation of feet for almost 12 to 13 years. 12 years ago, thank you. 12 years ago, she also developed diabetes, obesity, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, sleep apnea. She was taking 17 pills a day. Now she comes in, she sits in the office, reads everything that's given in this book, and says, I'm going to change my life. She cries for 2 hours. She goes home. She starts eating 4 times a day. Comes back 13 days later. Now explain this to me, how this happened. I'm no magician. 13 days later she comes back. She went from size 18 to size 12. Okay. Dropped 13 pounds in 13 days. Okay. Blood pressure, normal, off medication. Good. Blood sugar, normal, off medication. Good. Gastritis, gone, off medication. Mucus production, gone. Sleeping like a baby without Ambien. Good. But you know what was interesting? Even that blew me away was her neuropathy after 13 to 14 years, gone in 2 weeks. It's almost 4 months now, she still does not have neuropathy. And what was even more fascinating was her tremor, gone. She now can actually write. Now, how did that happen? Did I do anything strange, or did I say, okay, I waved a hand and said, you're healed, fixed? Nothing of that sort. All she did was went home, changed her diet. What did she do? She refused to eat anything with salt, sugar, starch, bad fat, caffeine. That's it. Even to this day, now, every time I talk to her, she's always giggling, laughing, happy at 68. So when I released this book, there were a Caucasian couple had come to the office for cardiac workup. So I was talking about this lady to them, and at the same time she had walked in. So I introduced her to them and said, hey, this is the lady I was talking about. So they started talking. They talked for half an hour. Then after she left, the lady asked me, how old is this lady? I said, she's 68. She said, what? I can't believe. She looks 55. I said, that's what the diet did. Every patient of mine who has changed his or her diet after coming back has shown one thing. Hey, the skin's starting to change. The skin's much better. Nails have improved. Hair is much stronger. Arthritis is gone. Gastritis is gone. Sleep much better. Attitude better. Why? So then the next thing is 4 reasons why a person should exercise. 1, to feel good. 2, to improve conditioning and to improve the brain. It's been clearly shown the more you exercise, the bigger the brain. 3rd is to sleep well. And 4, only 4 reasons. And the 4th is to drop your blood sugar if you have diabetes. That's it. These are the 4 reasons a person should exercise. Not to lose weight, because exercise will not help you lose weight. I'll give an example. I'll tell you the story why. And 4 things you should not worry about. What are the 4 things? Never worry about portion sizes as long as you don't have salt, sugar, starch, bad fat, caffeine. 2, don't worry about how many times should I eat. Eat as many times as you want as long as you don't have what? Salt, sugar, starch, bad fat, caffeine. 3, never look at calories. Why? As long as they are not coming from sugar and starch, you don't have to worry about it. And never worry about cholesterol. Why? I keep telling don't worry about cholesterol. The whole world tells you stay away from cholesterol. They did a study. Don't believe me. Go Google a food pyramid and look at the archives and look at the data they have. They took participants and gave them 4,000 milligrams of cholesterol. That's equivalent to eating 10 eggs with yolk a day. And what they found was their cholesterol did not budge. But the same group, when they were given saturated fat, that is cheese or butter or lard, their cholesterol went up exponentially. So I'll give an example. If I were to eat 4 eggs today, my cholesterol may go up by 4 points. Would you be concerned? Heck no. If I were to eat this much cheese or butter, my cholesterol would jump by 100 points. Everybody runs away from eggs, but never hesitates to eat cheese, especially when they're drinking wine. So the concept is simple. Okay, so I'm an engineer and a project engineer, and my job is to design a new prototype, and I have a monkey and I'm doing some research on the monkey. So my goal is simple. I want the monkey to have high blood pressure. What should I do? Give it salt, sugar, starch. Good. Mission accomplished. I want the monkey to have obesity. Give it sugar and starch. I want the monkey to have high cholesterol. Sugar, starch, bad fat. I want the monkey to have high cholesterol, heart disease, and strokes. Sugar, starch, bad fat. I want the monkey to be really a monkey. Anxious, worried, jumping around. Give it caffeine. So I want the doctors to make a lot of money. I want the hospitals to be busy, and I want to make sure that the pharmaceutical companies are coming out with new drugs. What should I give the monkey? Salt, sugar, starch, bad fat, caffeine. So I'll give an example. I represent the doctors, the hospitals, the drug companies, the pharmacies, the insurance companies. I represent the whole medical industry. Every time you eat sugar, starch, saturated fat, salt, caffeine, your money is coming into my wallet wireless. Even when you're bankrupt, I don't give a damn. Your money is coming to me. Your social security check is mine. Your Medicare check is mine. You're bankrupt, so what? What do I care? Don't ever come to me without money. And you'll be buying my medications every day and paying it after taxes, and you'll never complain because you're my good retirement nest egg. And don't ever feel bad for me. I love money. The more I get, the better off I am. So ask yourself, every time you're eating those chips, every time you're eating those pretzels, I'm watching you. Don't hide, I can see you. You are making me money. Look, remember it's a wonderful life. Every time the bell rings, the angel gets a wing. Every time you go munch, I make the money. Ching ching. Don't ever feel bad. So I'll give you another example. See, I'm tired of telling patients to give up sugar, starch. Oh, I like this. Don't worry, eat. Remember the story, sheep and the shepherd. I'm the shepherd, who's the sheep? I'm not the sheep. Who gets slaughtered? Not me. Who gets their skin taken out? Not mine. Who gets their wool taken out? Not mine. I wear the sweaters. Now, who is grazing? Not me. So every time you graze, you are the sheep. I'm the shepherd. So your choice. You can be the sheep or the shepherd. Don't ever complain. This is a free land, land of free and brave. Nobody's putting a gun to your head to saying that you have to eat this. You make your choices. So if you eat sugar, starch, bad fat, caffeine, and salt, don't blame companies. If you eat that, you're doing it because you are addicted to it, and you have to confront it, embrace it, accept it, break it. Otherwise, don't ever feel bad that you have to pay $50 to your doctor as copay. Don't ever complain that you have to pay $700 for your insulin pump and that you don't have money to do anything else. That's your choice. Questions? So then the question comes is, go on, ask me a question.
I know that sugar is one of those, and I know
Very good point. Now, everybody in my office says, oh, natural sugar. So if I make a statement that I've got this natural poison, how many would volunteer to eat it? No, I know. I'm coming to that. So then the question is, hey, God made fruits for me to eat. Even the Bible says forbidden fruit. I'm not quoting the Bible, but I'm just saying even there it says forbidden fruit. Then why am I eating fruits? Okay. Everybody, I don't want to name big hosts, but big people on TV say, hey, eat more beans, good for you. What do beans give me? Starch. Yeah, they also give me gas. They help me fly. But along with flying, but I can't fly because I'm as fat as a turkey. So I eat beans. What happens to me? I become fat and my blood sugar goes up. Hey, oatmeal is good for me. Eat oatmeal. What happens to my blood sugar? Goes up, I gain weight. Okay. Hey, some big TV star says, hey, blueberries are good for me because full of antioxidants. Let's stop. Blueberries. If I were to give blueberries to a diabetic, his or her blood sugar would go up by 100 points. Is that good for me? So what did I say? If I want to gain weight and become fat, what should I eat? Sugar. So can it be sugar substitute? No. Sugar substitute is even worse than sugar. Can it be artificial sugar? No. Can it be plain sugar? No. Can it be kosher sugar? No. Can it be fruit sugar? No. Can it be juice sugar? No. All sugars are bad, and the worst is fructose. In fact, a lot of people are now taking fructose or agave nectar. That's even worse than sugar. Or honey. Honey is 60% fructose. If you want to destroy your liver, eat more fructose. If you want to be fat, eat more fructose. If you want gout, eat more fructose. If you want high blood pressure because of high uric acid level, eat more fructose. Am I making sense? So don't let anybody fool you that this is good. If I were to tell you that next room there are 4 bags of gold coins, gold coins, you want to get it free? Sure. But watch out, there are scorpions, rattlesnakes, and cobras. How many would run there to get it? Same thing. Blueberries may have antioxidants, maybe gold. But if it's got sugar, which is poison, why would you want to eat it? Then comes the issue with salt. Oh, I don't eat regular salt. I only eat kosher salt. What is the difference? Just because I blessed it? No, I only eat sea salt. So what? Salt is salt. There are some water bottles, I don't want to name which ones, watch out, which have salt in them. So every time you drink, it makes you feel good, it makes you more thirsty, you drink more, it's actually cheaper, but what happens to your blood pressure and fluid retention? Goes up. So coming back to another question, I'll say, imagine this room. Let's say this room has 100 rats, not you guys, 100 rats. So imagine there are 100 rat holes. All the rats are enjoying cheese. In comes a hungry cat. What happens to the rats? Gone. As long as the hungry cat is sitting here, do you think a single rat would come out? No. You come in, you take the cat and put in a cage. What happens to the rats? They all come out. So what's the moral of the story? The room is the body. The rat hole is the fat cell. Rat is fat. Cat is insulin. So when I eat those chips or pretzels or bread or fruits or rice or oatmeal or grits or anything with carb, what happens to starch? It becomes sugar. What happens to my blood sugar? Goes up. When my blood sugar goes up, who opens the cage? Sugar. Who comes out? Insulin, the cat. When it comes out, what happens to sugar? It becomes a rat. Where does the rat go? Into the cage. As long as the insulin is out, are you going to lose weight? Heck no. So if I say I sign up with a trainer, he says, go eat oatmeal before you come. So I eat a big bowl of oatmeal. Okay? What is oatmeal? Starch. What does it become? Sugar. Who comes out? Cat. What does it become into? Fat. Okay? Now the cat's rolling around and the fat's inside. Then you work out for 2 hours. But that's not coming from your fat stores. It's coming from the glucose from your liver, which is coming to help you exercise, and from the muscles. So after 2 hours, he says, you've done such a good job. Go drink a smoothie. So what do? Skim milk, sugar, blueberries, sugar, banana, sugar. You blend it, drink it. 300 calories of or 400 calories of pure sugar. How many more cats are coming out? How many more rats are forming? Wait a minute. I've been exercising for 1 year. I gained 3 pounds. Why is that? So remember, even God cannot help you lose weight if it is insulin. Insulin will not, shall not let you lose weight no matter what. Is that clear? So don't let anybody fool you that this is a good carb. Is there a good carb? So then the question comes up, wait a minute, you're all full of bullshit because we've been eating all this stuff for a long time. Who are you to come here and tell me what's all this? Okay, let's start. Let's go look at the 5 things. Salt. If you were a Caucasian male Italian soldier 2,000 years ago, if you were in the Roman legions, 40% of your pay would have come in the form of salt. Would you just take it and make your guacamole and put a lot of salt in it and eat it? No. Okay, so that's how rare and precious salt was. Now what is the cheapest item in a store? Salt. Okay. Second, sugar. 300 years ago, how many people had access to white sugar? White sugar came from India, sugar canes. British came in, that's how it all started going out to the rest of the world. Before that, the only access of sugar was brown sugar occasionally, or honey, or fruits. How many of them got fruits regularly? Fruits were meant to be seasonal and rare. That means I have a few Caucasian patients who hang oranges every Christmas. Why? When their ancestors came here, oranges were so rare that it was a special treat to hang hang an orange on a Christmas tree. Then the question comes back is starch. Where did starch come into the picture? 6,000 to 8,000 years ago, we first started domesticating grains. First, the male was domesticated by a female, and the male went out and domesticated grains, and that's how we got farming and civilization. So it all credit goes to female, and the blame goes to female also. So having said this, so if 6,000 to 8,000 years ago we did not eat and cultivate grains, what did we eat? Vegetables, meat, okay. Then the question comes back is saturated fat. Your grandpa had to be very, very rich to have access to cheese and butter. Otherwise, that was the only way he could have gotten bad fat. And you had to be rich to get access to cheese and butter. Any meat he ate was lean because he didn't have cattle which was being fed corn. So wait a minute. All this marbled meat, when did this come into? If I take an animal, give it corn, I'm going to have marbling. So what do you think the aliens are going to think when they come to Texas? Don't eat Texans, full of marbling. So then the question comes back is, so if saturated fat in nature is only available in the form of milk and milk products only up to the age of 1 year, and after that it's weaned away, then what business do we have eating saturated fat when it is not required by the body? Then the last one is caffeine. It was only in 600 years ago we first discovered coffee in Ethiopia, and so where was this issue that I had to drink caffeine every day for the last 2,000 years? So if you go back, hey, wait a minute, salt, sugar, starch, saturated fat, caffeine. You put these 5 ingredients into one pill, it's the most addicting pill and you will never give it up. And with that, what comes with you? Medical bills, illnesses, obesity, diabetes, heart disease, anxiety, irritability. I have patients who say, I can't sleep. Why can't you sleep? I need a sleeping pill. Why? I'm restless, irritable, stressed out, and I have a hard time winding down. How many cups of coffee? 4 cups of coffee. Wait a minute. You want to drink something to wind you up, and then you want something to wind you down. How is that going to work? And every time you take a sleeping pill, and if you have sleep apnea, what are you doing to your brain? So let me tell you something. What is sleep apnea? Anybody? You stop breathing, right? If I were to tie your legs and hands and start choking you, what can you do? Nothing. What happens to your blood pressure? Goes through the roof. What happens to your oxygen level? Goes down. What happens to lung blood pressure? Goes up. What happens to stress on the heart? Goes up. What happens to stress on the kidney? Goes up. And what happens to your brain tissue if your oxygen level is going down all night long? So how much brain tissue are you losing? Now let's say you take a sleeping pill and go to sleep. Now what happens to the brain? It's sleeping too. So how much more brain are you damaging every night? You drink wine and go to sleep with sleep apnea. What happens? So every time you have beer or wine or 4 scotches and you go to sleep and you start choking all night long, how much brain tissue are you damaging every night? Ask yourself. So if you have sleep apnea, meaning you would not know, you have to ask your spouse. If your spouse says you keep choking, you stop breathing, you keep kicking, I can't sleep, get the hell out of here, it's time you got your sleep apnea fixed. Why? Not for your wife, to protect your own brain. If not, you'll be smiling sitting in a nursing home. You don't know what happened. And I'll have to pay the bills for it. So, I mean, does it make sense? Go on, ask a question.
Is congestive heart failure the same as an active heart attack, and can you
Very good question. What is a heart attack? Heart is a pump. It pumps blood to the rest of the body. It has 3 small arteries which supplies blood to the heart muscle. If you close one of the artery, the muscle dies, and that's how you have a heart attack. Okay? When you have a heart attack, the heart can dilate and the function of the heart can drop. When the function of the heart drops, if it is unable to pump the blood out, it starts to pump the blood back into the lungs, and you start filling up your lungs, and you're short of breath every time you walk, or even when you try to lay down, you're short of breath. That's because you have fluid in your lungs. That is congestive heart failure. But can you have a normal heart and still have congestive heart failure? Yes. How? Salt. When you eat salt, what happens? When I eat salt, okay, I did this as an experiment. I took my daughter to eat sushi. I stopped doing that. I'll tell you why. I took my daughter to eat sushi. So that night, I drank a lot of water. Next day, I gained 7 pounds. So I asked myself, is it fat? No way. Is it muscle? Heck no. Is it water? Yes. Why 7 pounds? Something I did when I ate. What did I eat? Sushi, salt. Okay. So I said, let me try an experiment. So next week, I took my daughter again, and this time I tried another experiment. I drank a lot of water before, during, after. Next day, I didn't gain an ounce. So what happened? Same sushi, same salt, but didn't gain an ounce. I tried another experiment. I went with my wife and another couple to this Chinese restaurant in Town and Country. And you know, Chinese food has a lot of salt in it. So I told the guy, 2 glasses, keep it full, keep it coming. Done. So I kept drinking. I ate everything that was there on the menu, what I could order. And after 3.5 hours, I drank 13 glasses of water. Now explain to me, how the heck could I drink 13 glasses of water when I'm so skinny? Then next day, I didn't gain an ounce while my wife gained 5 pounds. What's the moral of the story? When you put salt in your stomach first, salt demands water. Where is the water coming from? Either you drink or the blood pumps the water into the stomach. Well, you're busy eating, you're not going to drink. You like the pizza, you keep guzzling it down, not 1 but 4. So when you keep eating, what happens? Your stomach is full and the body is pumping water into the stomach. Now what happens to your blood volume? Drops. When your blood volume drops, what does the kidney say? Uh-oh, shut down, no more urine output. Kidney shut down. What happens to the kidney? It starts dumping in a lot of hormones. What does it do? Makes you thirsty. You try to drink water, but your stomach is full, you can't eat, you can't drink more. Now fast forward 6 or 8 hours later, you keep drinking, and you're not peeing. Next day you've gained 5 to 6 pounds. And in the meantime, if you have a weak heart or a stiff heart, where is all that going? Into your lungs, and what happens to your blood pressure? Goes up by 100 points. So A, not only do you have your blood pressure go up by 100 points, but B, you're also in heart failure and panting, huffing and puffing. Well, why? Because of cheapest commodity salt, and once you end up in the hospital, how much do you pay? Questions? Now, I was talking about the fish. 1 minute, fish. The reason I don't eat fish is simple. For years, I've been telling don't eat fish because of pollutants. Fish is the best meat, but the most polluted meat is the fish. This lady comes in, Caucasian lady, 63-year-old, owns 4 restaurants. Her blood level of mercury, arsenic, zinc, gadolinium, cadmium, lead were through the roof. That means if the cutoff was 20 points, she had more than 300,000 parts. That was similar to licking a battery every day in the morning. Where did all that come from? Not from eggs, not from vegetables, fish. Do you know where your fish is coming from? Hey, a lot of people say, I went fishing to Alaska and caught this salmon from Alaska, freshwater salmon, excellent, I eat it. Okay, good. Does the Alaskan salmon come there to live or die? It comes there to die. Where the heck is it living? Way out in the ocean. Where is it collecting pollutants? Out in the ocean. Where are you fishing? Alaska. Where are you eating? In Houston. Who's getting the pollutants? Right back into your system. So the moral of the story is be careful of what you're eating. So the concept is whatever you eat, salt, sugar, starch, bad fat, caffeine. I'll be with you in 1 minute. Yes?
So, Doc, what do you eat?
Eat this, lose that. Simple. The simple rule is this. 80% of what you eat should be green. That means all green leafy vegetables, any vegetable you want. Sprouts, nuts, avocados, tomatoes, lime, lemon, cucumber. 20% of what you eat should be or can be if you're a non-vegetarian, if you're a vegetarian, then you can avoid it, or a vegan, should be eggs with yolk and lean meat, any lean meat, occasional fish, not more than once a month. So the issue is egg. What is the problem with egg? Well, and when an egg hatches and a chick comes out, is the chick missing something? It's got everything required for life. That means every nutrient, component, ingredient, technology, whatever you name it, required to produce life is in an egg. Why are you running away from it and eating oatmeal? Egg gives you life. Oatmeal gives you doctors. Choice is yours. So, what is the one food that is of life, in life, with life, gives life, sustains life, for life? Egg. Okay, issue of cholesterol. Well, does egg have salt? Nope. Sugar? No. Starch? No. Bad fat? Very little. Caffeine? No. Eat it. What about cholesterol? 80 to 90% of cholesterol in your diet is not absorbed, and there's not a single study showing that eating cholesterol raises cholesterol to the point where it causes heart disease and strokes. Wait a minute, if that's the case, why do I have heart disease? Because you're eating sugar, starch, bad fat. Why? Sugar and starch makes your good cholesterol go down. Triglycerides go up, makes your bad cholesterol small, and makes the key to open the door for the cholesterol to enter to form plaque. And the saturated fat makes the bad cholesterol combined in the form of what? Pizza, bagel with cream cheese, coffee with sugar and creamer, ice creams, pies, desserts, cakes. What do they all have? Sugar and bad fat, or starch and bad fat. The more you eat, the richer you get. Questions? And if you're interested in bread, it took me 2 years to come up with this bread called the Reddy bread. It's made from soy and flax. Every patient who's eaten that bread has dropped their weight, dropped their blood sugar, especially adult onset diabetics. When they eat the bread in 1 day, their blood sugar is normal. How is that? It's made of soy and flax. It does not have carbs. It fills your stomach. You toast it with olive oil, roll it with eggs, roll it with meat, roll it with vegetables, roll it with avocado, guacamole, peanut butter. Eat it with the bread. You still lose weight even after eating 4 times a day. Last month I took a patient to Deborah Duncan Joe, and he lost 45 pounds in 3 weeks, giving up salt, sugar, starch, bad fat, caffeine, and eating the bread. And he clearly said, I've gone from eating twice a day to 4 times a day. So everything I talked to you today is given in detail in the book. Why did I come up with this book? For 6 years, Joey has been helping me write the book, and he's been the one brain behind the whole thing. And for 6 years, we've been playing with books. So every time a patient would come in, I would give him a handout, have him read it. And the goal was simple. Someone with no high school education should be able to sit there, read the stuff, understand everything, pick up the phone and call his spouse and say, hey, this is what we are doing wrong, let's change. So it took us 4 years of playing around with all these things, and finally the patient kept saying, when are we going to get the book? When are we going to get the book? So finally we got everything together and then gave it to patients. Every patient who's read it and said, hey, we like it, we understand it. Why? It is simplified. What to eat and what not to eat. What is sugar? Where do I get it? Every question you have on diet or sugar substitute or alcohol or caffeine or stress management is in there. Questions?
So you said the fish is bad, so that means the fish oil is bad.
Good question. Fish oil. So the fish oil I recommend to my patients and I take myself is the prescription fish oil. Why? It is the only one which is FDA approved with the statement saying that there are no impurities in there. Every other fish oil I don't trust. No, then you can go for flaxseed oil or eat nuts. Next question.
FDA, you just said something. Why don't they put this out if it's the best?
You want me to be poor? That is not a noble thought. You're hurting me. You can't do that. I don't know the answer for that, but I'm just telling you what I learned. Good question. I don't know the answer. This has been an experience for myself, and this is what I've learned. And every time I go back to the drawing board, the answer is simple. I eat salt, sugar, starch, blood pressure goes up. Sugar and starch, I become fat. Sugar, starch, bad fat, my cholesterol goes up. My keys goes up to form plaque. I eat desserts, I form plaque much more faster. I eat caffeine, I'm anxious and irritable. Every patient who's given up caffeine comes back and said, hey, my anxiety is gone and stress is gone. My sleep is better, my personality changed. Why? I don't know. Simple. Caffeine makes your stress hormones go up. Caffeine causes anxiety, irritability, nightmares and all those things. Caffeine causes gastritis. Caffeine makes you pee more than anything else. I took my staff to Las Vegas for a vacation because they had been with me for 8 years and I never gave them bonuses. So I took them there. I was Uncle Scrooge for them. So I took them there. And so I was in the room with my nuclear tech and my accountant, and everybody else was in different rooms. So in the morning, I got up and I drank a big bottle of water, and I'm sitting there waiting to pee. Now remember, Las Vegas has a lot of salt there. And my nuclear tech and accountant run down and get nice, I won't say which company, but nice coffee. They drink the coffee, I drink the water. In the next 1 hour, they peed 3 times, and I'm still waiting to pee. Why? What does caffeine do? Make you pee. So if you're already volume depleted and you pee more, what are you going to feel? Miserable, listless, restless. As it is, you're irritated. Now, if you're pissed off and stressed out at work and you go home, who are you going to yell at? Your spouse. And what happens if you keep yelling after 5 years? I'm not going to say anything. So go on. Question. Somebody had a question? Yes. Why do you want to eat egg whites when you have the yellow? St. Paul will be very upset if you eat only egg whites.
The doctor had said that to lower your cholesterol.
I just told you, remember? Eating eggs will not raise cholesterol.
Eat egg whites once in a while instead of the whole egg.
I eat 4 eggs with yolk. I eat 4 eggs with yolk every day. 2 of them raw, guilt-free.
That's also in the egg whites only.
No, egg whites is only pure protein. So you want the yellow. If you want to have good eyes, meaning no macular degeneration, if you want to have a good brain, good muscles, good bones, and no inflammation, eat eggs with yolk. As I said, eggs give you life. Carbs give you doctors. It's not the apple a day that keeps the doctor away. It's an egg a day that keeps the doctor away. Why is it that they don't complain? How come you never find an Italian complaining of pasta? You never find a Hispanic complaining of beans and tortillas? You never see an Indian saying that I'm tired of rice? Why is that? No, it's addiction. It's an addiction. You know why? If I were to do cocaine and you were to eat rice, we both go under the MRI machine, we both would have the same centers light up. It's the same level of addiction, except the society says, go ahead, eat more sugar. When you do cocaine, you're a junkie. You eat sugar, you're good. Have some more. You see my point? It is addiction. That's why when people give up carbs, they have withdrawal effects. They are miserable for the first 3 or 4 days or 5 days. And after that, they get back to normal. And then after quitting this, when they go back to eating sugar and starch, they are really miserable. Question?
If your doctor, your current doctor, has you on some kind of medications and they say, well, you're going to be on this for the rest of your life, but you don't want to be on that medicine for the rest of your life, and you start doing something like that, then you go back to the doctor and say, well, I'm off all that medicine. Now they're going, you got this big war between the doctors who believe in medicine and those who believe in just eating right and getting off of the medicine.
That's a very good point. This lady who was on 17 pills, who dropped to 2 pills and then later dropped to 0 pills in less than 3 weeks, when she had some pain in the stomach, so I said, to be sure, she lives in Kingwood, I said, go to the hospital, near the hospital, just to be sure. So she went to the hospital, her primary care physician came in, who had put her on 17 pills. So when he came in, he looked at her and said, how come you're not taking any medication? She said, I've changed my diet, I don't need the medication. He said, no, you need it, you desperately need it, man. He was upset. Then she asked very calmly, I said, can you check and see if my labs are okay? So he went back, got all the labs, okay. She asked the question, is my blood sugar normal? He said, yes. Is my kidney function normal? Yes. Is my blood pressure in the hospital normal? Yes. Is my liver enzymes normal? Yes. Is my rhythm normal? Yes. Then why do you want me to take these medications? He had no answer. So see, the point is, we are not gods. We have been taught, and we have been taught by somebody else who said this is the right thing, and we are just transferring the message. And that's what a dietitian is doing. So don't find fault with the doctors or the dietitian. You ask the question, why am I taking this medication? When you get sick with the infection, do you take antibiotics for the rest of your life? No. You take the antibiotics for a short period of time and then get out of it, right? Then go back and ask the question, if I have this problem, why do I have this problem? Okay, I'll give you an example. I took my parents to a place called Munnar in south of India. It's a hill station. And that's where 1720 or 1730, the Britishers had planted tea gardens, and now they have thousands of hectares of tea gardens. Actually, tea from there came to Boston. That's how the Boston Tea Party started. So This tea place, I went there. So I asked the guy, he said, how long does a tea plant live? He said, 120 years. I said, whoa, wait a minute, how come it's only this high? He said, we crop it every other day. Good. On the way to Munnar, I saw all these trees with a lot of infestation and infection. So how come the leaves are so good with no parasites? He said, we spray pesticides every other day. I said, okay, what do you do with the leaves? He said, we dry them and ship them out. I said, there are 1 billion Indians drinking tea 3 to 4 times a day. What are they getting when they boil the tree? Pesticides. You take the pesticides and 20 years down the road, you wonder, why did I develop cancer? I've been such a good person. So is a farmer in India going to say that, hey, so-and-so is going to get my tea, so I'm going to make sure it's very clean and with no pesticides? So when you go out and eat salads, do you know where your product is coming from? I bought some mint leaves and I went home, I was making my own smoothie and I looked at the mint leaves. I said, let me see, where is it coming from? I saw a product of Colombia. So a farmer in Colombia is going to make sure that there's no pesticide on my mint leaves. So when you go and eat salad with all the ranch dressing, what are you getting? Not only getting sugar, salt, starch, bad fat, and some pesticides. And throw in a fish too, you made it good. And every time you take caffeine, you get anxious, you go and talk to your doctor, you get what? Prozac or Lexapro, right? Do you know all the frogs are very happy, they're smiling? Because all the Lexapro we are peeing is going where? The fish are happy, the frogs are happy. They don't have any depression. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, where are we supposed to
You know, before I start, Brenda, this is your book. And ma'am, you need to come in, here's your book. Everyone who asks a question gets a book. This is $50. Too bad, you miss it. You get this. And you ask the question, yes. Yes.
Before they won't run out.
Hey.
I have a question for you.
No. People, you ask the question. No cheating. Here, give it to her. Yes. Who asked the question? Yes.
I had a genuine question. That's why I came here.
Oops, I missed the train. Too bad. Yes, you're going to get the word. Yes.
Okay, my question is, where do you go and get lettuce and all that stuff without the pesticide?
Whole Foods.
Get rid of it.
Whole Foods. That's it. Oh, yes. And you're the last one who gets it. Oh.
So if I have people asking me more questions, can I give them more books?
No, I'm sorry. Hey, the book is $50. So it's not a cheap. See, the reason it's $50 is because it took me 14 years to understand, and everything in there is unconventional, and I have hundreds of patients with results showing me within 2 weeks, dropping medications, dropping weight, changing their, dropping their blood sugars, blood pressures. Everything is so simplified. Go on. What's the question? Good point. Salt and sugar substitutes. There is a salt substitute which is potassium that can be used in moderation, not a lot. Now comes the issue of sugar substitute. Why did I say sugar substitute is bad? Anybody?
Because it's not real sugar, pesticide.
No. Remember, when I take or eat something with sugar substitute, what does the brain say? In comes sugar. What is it going to tell the pancreas? Unload insulin. The cats are out. What do the cats do? Existing sugar is converted to rats and stored away. What happens to your blood sugar? Drops. When your blood sugar drops, what is the first thing the brain says? Whoa, wait a minute, I'm hungry, I'm hypoglycemic. So what is it going to make you do? Eat. What is easily available? Carbs. And you end up eating what? 400 calories of carbs. One bagel, one banana, a bag of chips. Before you know, consume 400 calories of carbs. And what is it going to do? Make you fat. That's why all the studies done on diet drinks have shown what? Weight gain. Do not go near sugar substitutes. They are worse than sugar. Yes.
Can the food allergies be overcome with the diet?
I don't know the answer, but I can tell you from personal experience, a lot of patients who have changed their diet have come back and said, hey, interestingly, my arthritis has gone away. Rheumatoid arthritis patients have dropped their pain medications. Interestingly, my allergies have improved significantly. I don't have the answer, but something to do with food.
Like the food allergies itself
Sure.
can be.
Then if you're allergic to a certain food, then you have to go back and ask why. But I cannot answer the question definitively, but some patients have said that their allergies have improved tremendously when they change the diet. Yes, ma'am.
What about salad dressing?
Good point. Salad dressing. Eat your salads naked. Don't dress them. Why, you have a problem with naked salads? I don't have a problem with anything naked. If you want, you can just put a little bit of vinegar, lots of olive oil, black pepper, and lime.
Amino acid.
Huh?
Bragg's amino acid.
Max amino acid, I don't know much about it, but yeah. Sorry. Yes, ma'am.
Is there any way to still to be on this diet and still go out and eat?
Yes, you should. It's called the 90-10 schedule. That means Friday night and Saturday night, you and your spouse go out and eat anything and whatever you want to your heart's content. Why? If you were to make it a point to go to 2 new restaurants every week, and rest of the time you're strict on the diet, eating 4 times to 5 times a day, how many new restaurants could you have gone in 1 year? More than 100 new restaurants. How many of us have actually gone to 100 new restaurants and eaten whatever we want without guilt and yet been healthy? But we don't do that. We eat junk every day in a different form. I eat oatmeal today, tomorrow I'm going to eat cereal, tomorrow I'm going to eat Raisin Bran, tomorrow I'm going to eat Cheerios, tomorrow I'm going to eat waffles. Question? Yes, ma'am. Ask yourself, I mean, in my book, they're all, anything that comes from polluted water, you're running the risk. So you don't know where your shrimp is coming from. And they are basically scavengers, bottom feeders. So anytime you're eating bottom feeder, what are you getting? Any meat lean is okay, preferably organic if you can. If not, any meat lean. Because remember, lean meat, does lean meat have salt, sugar, starch, bad fat, caffeine? No. Eggs, salt, sugar, starch, bad fat, caffeine? No. Avocados, salt, sugar, starch, bad fat, caffeine? No. Vegetables, salt, sugar, starch, bad fat, caffeine? No. You see my point? If you apply this principle, everything falls in place. And the Reddy bread, yes?
Where can we find your book at?
From my office or from reddybread.com. Reddybread.com, you can get it. Trust me, this book, in fact, I gave this to a gentleman. Oh, you know what? Do you know Rod Page, Dr. Page? Yes. He was a superintendent of HISD and the former Secretary of Education under Bush. He had come to the office because a friend had sent him over, and then I gave him the book. So a week later, I called him. I said, what do you think of the book? You know what his word was? Magnificent. He loved the book. So what is the moral of the story? Change your diet. Learn everything there is to know about salt, sugar, starch, bad fat, caffeine. There's also a segment about attitude. Let's talk about attitude. Yes?
What if you're allergic to peanuts?
Don't eat peanuts. Eat walnuts, pecans, pine nuts, what do you call, any of those hazelnuts. If you're allergic to peanuts, then eat the other nuts. In fact, the best nut is walnut and pecan. Next question.
You had mentioned about when you'd gone to the Chinese restaurant, you drank all that water and everything. Wouldn't it be best to drink the water ahead of time?
Yes.
Not during the meal, so you're not diluting the digestion?
No, that's not the issue. Okay, her point is very good. I was there in the Chinese restaurant drinking a lot of water before I started eating. Wouldn't it be better to drink before and not during the food? Good point. Do not worry about the food being digested. The body is 100,000 years old. It will find a way to digest the food. Do not worry about it. Drink the water not 10 minutes before you eat. 1 second before you start eating. Why? When you drink water, within 5 minutes it's out of the system. So even when you are eating, when you drink water, the body is absorbing the water with the salt, and then you're peeing the salt out. So even though I drank 13 glasses of water, it was not in my stomach. It was sucking everything out and I was peeing it out. So don't worry about the digestion part of it. It will take care of it.
So I know that collectively we have paid enough to make you rich, but we want to keep you forever. And it's time already.
One last thing.
One last question.
I have a question.
Yes.
What kind of breakfast can you eat if you don't like eggs?
You can eat nuts, you can eat spinach, you can eat a lot of vegetables, you can eat meat, you can have meat in the morning. I mean, there's no statement that you have to have meat for dinner only. You can have meat for breakfast.
What if you don't like meat like that?
Then you can take the bread. You can take the Reddy bread. You can take the Reddy bread, toast it, and you can make sandwich out of anything you like to eat, with vegetables, with avocado, with guacamole, with peanut butter, whatever you want.
How can you get the bread?
Bread from my office or from the Indian stores, and we should be in Whole Foods in the next 4 weeks, the Reddy bread, or online. Right. For more information, you can go to reddycardiology.com or reddybread.com. It's in there. Reddy bread or reddycardiology.com. Yes, ma'am.
What about thyroid disease? Is there anything that you can eat that causes thyroid disease, or?
That's a good question, but I don't have an answer for that.
What about organic?
Organic is fine, but again, make sure organic potato is not good. Organic, remember, just don't be fooled by organic. Organic yam is not good. Don't go for sweet potato. It's worse than potato. My smoothie, don't throw up, but what I do is I take zero fat, zero sugar yogurt, which is the Bulgarian fat-free yogurt, and I put spinach, parsley, avocado, mint and basil leaves. It actually gives you a nice flavor, because the mint and basil gives you a very good flavor, and alfalfa sprouts, because why? All these give you a lot of minerals, vitamins, antioxidants, nutrients with no calories. That is the best way to heal. And I eat eggs. So what are you missing? You're getting everything the body needs without calories, but full of nutrients, minerals, vitamins. So calorie poor, nutrient rich, excellent for the body to heal.
Reddy, are you still, are you still in practice?
Yes.
And which,
I practice in Sugar Land, and that's the only place I practice. I'm there from 9 to 5, office-based practice.
is it Memorial Healthcare?
Yeah. Everyone is system, yes. I'm in the network. Yes.
How do you say you eat 4 eggs a day? Do you season it? How do you season it?
Your choice. You can eat them boiled, omelette, or sunny side up, any way you want it.
But I mean, like, season, okay, like, I know
Mrs. Dash without the salt.
Mrs. Dash without the salt.
Right. So I know I have to close up. How many want to know about stress management? How many want to know about stress management? 3 minutes. Okay, let's do one thing. Everybody sit down, relax. Just 2 more minutes and we're done. Now, focus on your breathing. Just focus on your breathing. Take a deep breath in and out. So when you're focusing on your breathing, what happens to your thoughts? Your thoughts stop. That means every time you stop breathing, what happens to your thoughts? They stop. Every time you start breathing, your thoughts activate yourself. You see my point? So if you control your breathing, what are you controlling? You're controlling your thoughts. If you're controlling your thoughts, you're controlling your actions. If you're controlling your actions, you're controlling your outcome. So, okay. So when you're focusing on your breathing, where are you? Absolutely in the present. That means there are 3 segments in life: past, present, future. Correct? So if you're absolutely in the present and focusing on your breathing, what happens to your past? Does it exist? No. What happens to your future? Does it exist? No. So what exists in the past? Memories. If I take $10 from you, you'll remember 10 years from now, that son of a bitch took $10 and never gave it to me. That means I'm a ghost from the past, because in 10 years I've changed molecularly, chemically, time-wise, I've changed completely. But you're still holding the grudge of 10 years ago. That's a past from your memory. I don't care. I don't even remember it. So if you're absolutely in the present, when your memory is gone, and if you're absolutely in the present, your mind, what if they lay me off? What if it doesn't exist? So where are you? Even the Bible says only a child can enter the kingdom of heaven. Where does the child live? Absolutely in the present. If you're in the present, ask nothing, want nothing, expect nothing, total surrender, no opinion, absolutely in the present. How quickly can you be in stress-free zone? Fraction of a second. Now what stress do you have? Even if your boss is yelling at you, just be in the present and look at his nose. And just ask a question, how come it keeps dancing every time he yells? Problem solved. The moment you step out and then, so that means everything is a thought. If a thought is like a room, I enter a thought, then it's like sitting there and watching the movie. Anger, hatred, jealousy, greed, lust, frustration, disappointments, all the resentments, all these happen in the thought. If I'm out of a thought, I'm watching the thought, what happens to my stress? None. So who can stress you? You and caffeine. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It was a pleasure. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I hope you had fun too.
It has been a pleasure. Obviously, can we invite him back again? What do you think?